BBC Sounds. Music, radio, podcasts.
You're listening to Front Row with Samira Ahmed.
Hello, tonight, 5-time Grammy Award winner Jacob Collier is here performing live in the studio. He's only 28. He's the first British artist to win a Grammy for each of his first 4 albums. Known for blending music from all genres, for reharmonising covers of famous songs, and for energetic live performances in which he often conducts the audience in multi-part sing-alongs. Jacob comes from a family of classical musicians and still lives with his parents and creates and records music in the family home in Finchley in North London. He's already been the star of his own Prom in 2018 and the subject of BBC One's Imagine series. And Jacob is here with Lizzy McAlpine and Victoria Canal. Welcome to the Front Row studio, all of you.
How are you?
Instruments poised, voices poised. I'm very well, thank you. Jacob, what are the three of you going to perform for us first?
We are going to start with a song which I wrote with my dear friend Lizzy, who's sitting by my side just here. We wrote this song last year, and it came out a couple of months ago now. And we haven't had a chance to play the song together, I think, ever before. So this is a bit of a world premiere.
Hey, what is it called?
And it's called Never Gonna Be Alone.
Okay.
There's a patch of sunlight in my room, on the carpet where I held you for a moment in June. There was something so sweet about it, never been so unguarded, and it made me fall for you.
There's a tree that looks up at the moon, in the garden where I held you for a moment in the gloom. Something so sweet about it, holding on to this moment, and it made me fall for you. You made me fall for you. Take me back to the window, take me back to the door. You'll be right where I left you, sitting on the floor. Now I'm never gonna be alone. Take me back to the window, take me back to the door. You'll be right where I left you, sitting on the floor. Now I'm never gonna be alone.
That's the first time you played it together. That's amazing.
First time ever.
Oh my God, our harmonies are amazing.
No, thank you.
I noticed there's 2 guitars, but there's also an instrument which, to a slight idiot like me, looks like a child's keyboard with a little pressy thing. What is that?
It very much is. Yes, it's called a melodica. It's basically a child's keyboard, but they sound pretty great.
Yeah, you made it sound great. How would you describe your music and your approach to music, Jacob?
Oh, that's a good question. I think for me, music is about people and the way that the world can be expressed through so many different visions and vistas. the way I create music is very multi-layered, and I've always had this huge crush on musical harmony, the idea of combining notes and creating chords, and combining chords to create sequences and creating songs. And I've also always been obsessed with the human voice and all the things that it can do. And so I began my musical journey doing lots of singing as a young boy.
Were you in a choir or something?
I was in a choir. I sang at school, and I sang in a few different productions around. But I really kind of got a grasp on my own musical universe when I started to layer my own voice on top of itself. So I'd create these towering structures of sort of 6, 7, 8, 9 Jacobian voices, even at the age of 11 or 12. And I loved the sonority and the sound that you get when you create these chords out of the voice. And it's always been a bit of a North Star for me, the idea that the human voice can create these really moving and rousing kind of tapestries of colour. And so I suppose as I've grown up and as I continue to grow up and learn about the world, that very much feels like something I'm very interested in and perpetually fascinated by.
I want to ask more about that in a minute, but Lizzy, I wonder what it's like working with Jacob.
It's amazing. It's really fun. I mean,
how did you come to know each other musically then?
Where did we meet?
I posted a video on my Instagram of a cover of one of his songs, and
That's right.
think that he saw that, and then we just
Totally smitten.
we connected. Yeah.
that was that.
It's interesting how you use technology and online, because of course you posted some of your multi-harmonies that you constructed on YouTube, haven't you?
Yes, indeed.
Jacob, let's talk a bit about then how you don't just construct your own harmonies yourself. You're known for involving the audience and conducting them. Let's have a quick listen to an example. This is from the Brixton Academy earlier this year. So that is an untrained audience at the Brixton Academy singing. They sound amazing. What did you ask them to do?
Oh, well, I didn't say a word. There's something inherent about music in people, and it's been an experiment I've been evolving for a while, but that was very much spontaneous. So what I do from the stage is I look at the audience. I've partitioned them into generally 3 parts, and using my eyes and my fingers, I point up and down up and down arrows and look at the section that needs to move, having established a triad at the beginning. And in music we call a triad, it's a 3-part chord that kind of dictates a tonal centre, like a centre of gravity. And when that gravity is understood, then people tend to know where to be and where to exist within that tonality. And so just with up and down arrows, they can kind of navigate these different chords.
Did you not give them a starting note or something?
I did give them a starting note, but all the way through the show, I love to involve them, because I think, first of all, everybody in the world is a musician, but also a singer. And I think that in so many respects, it's such an important and life-affirming thing to use one's voice in the world. And there's something about being in a room of people, in that case it was 5,000 people, and singing chords that feel connected and are connected, in terms of sonority, with complete strangers. And, I've done, I think this year I've done about 69 shows or 70 shows, and I've done it at every performance, and it never fails.
What are you going to? You're going to do something with some of these. You've recorded them, haven't you?
So my sort of epic idea for this was to record the sound of these choirs all over the world, and to bring them back and to incorporate them in this album that I'm creating, which is called Jessie Volume 4. And I've been working on this quadruple album series for a few years now. Jessie Volume 1, Volume 2 and Volume 3 are in the world. It's Jessie, DJESSE. And Jessie Volume 4 was always going to be the kind of culmination of all the forces within the world and within music that I found the most important. And it in a funny full circle sense, having started my musical life and career with just the voice on its own, layering my own voice up, it feels only fair to bring 100,000 voices to an album.
Wow, that's amazing. Now, you were nominated against Taylor Swift for the 2021 Album of the Year at the Grammys, and one might have expected you to have graduated to a big fancy studio by now. But you are still working from home, is that right?
Very much so. I'm living in the house I was basically brought up in from day one of my life, which is a real privilege, I find. And I've never believed you need a lot to create. I think you need very little, but you need to have space and permission to just be expansive with your imagination as a child. And I think that, the world is such a big place, and for children especially, that the time in your life when you're a child is this unlimited time, and if you ask the right questions and you're given the right space to ask those questions, you can really kind of run with ideas in a particularly sacred way. And so I really kind of grew up in this room in my house that's filled with musical instruments, and over the years I've brought instruments within those four walls, and having travelled the world a bit in the last few years, it's been amazing to see that room grow. But it started very humbly. It was just a piano and one SM58 microphone and a laptop.
How many have you
that
got
was that.
now?
Instruments, you mean? Oh, crikey, I don't even know. Maybe 100, I'm not sure.
Really? All in that room?
It's very cramped, you could say. Very, very cramped in there right now.
Excellent. Now, Jacob Collier, Lizzy McAlpine and Victoria Canal are still with me, and we're going to play something just for Front Row. And this one is a reimagined cover rather than an original. I know you love covers. I gather it's from the soundtrack to a film that I loved, Saturday Night Fever. What is it you're going to play, Jacob? You don't remember this film.
Oh, no, absolutely not. But the song is legendary, and the song is called How Deep Is Your Love?
So it's a Bee Gees cover.
It's a Bee Gees song, and we've spent the afternoon cooking up a little arrangement of this for you, and we've never performed this before, so this is a bit of a debut as well.
This is one of your triad three-part harmonies, is it?
There you go, absolutely.
I feel your eyes in the morning sun. You touch me in a pouring rain. And the moment that you wander far from me, I want to feel you in my arms again. And then you come to me on a summer day. Give me warm in your love, then you softly leave. And it's me you need to show. How deep is your love? Is your love how deep is your love? I really need to learn, 'cause we're living in a world of fools, breaking us down. We belong to you and me.
I believe in you. You know the door to my very soul. You're the light in my deepest, darkest hour, yeah. You're the savior when I fall. You may not think that I care for you, down inside, I really do. It's me you need to show. How deep is your love? Is your love? How deep is your love? I really need to learn, 'cause we're living in a world of fools, breaking us down when the ocean let us be. We belong to you and me. Is your love how deep? Is your love? I really need to learn, 'cause we're living in a world of fools, breaking us down when the ocean let us be. We belong to you and me.
I don't think you could have chosen a more apt song listening to the lyrics than you. Where do you pluck something like that out from?
Oh gosh, I mean that song is undefeated. You can't go wrong with it.
Yeah, but what made you think, that's the one, we could turn that into a three-part harmony?
I don't know. We were talking before earlier this morning about songs that we all just loved and knew, and we thought that is such a banger. That song is such a good song.
So good.
And do you actually sit and work it out on paper, or is it all just communicating with shaking
It's
heads?
very much by ear. Yeah, we sat around a little garden table at the top of my Finchley garden this afternoon and thought, what notes would be the most satisfying possible to sing? And I'm so lucky to get to sing with these two. They're such legends, and it really is my favourite feeling in the world is to sing with friends. But these two are just miraculous.
Yeah, it's kind of like having three Everly brothers, siblings who are not all brothers.
Thanks so much.
But also, I gather you're not concerned about the idea of hit songs. So I'm interested in what does drive you then in thinking what to record and what to release.
I find myself following my goosebumps a lot. And I don't think you can plan what moves you. I think that if you adhere too closely to what moves the whole world at one time, then you fail to observe some of the deepest parts of yourself and what it means to be a human being. And I think it's such a great privilege as an artist to get to delve around in those deep, dark corners and just to tell stories that feel true and honest. And so I think for me, telling stories that feel like they express the way in which I see the world and the way in which I look at and am trying to learn about the world. It's a lifelong challenge, and I've done a lot of thinking and dreaming through the lens of music, and also a lot of collaboration with artists from all over the world, many different walks of life, different continents, different cultures, and just I try to be like a sponge as much as possible, and just drink in as much as you can as to how not only do people think about phrasing and chords and harmony, but just they think about life.
Yeah, well, I know you. I mean, the sponge-like attitude is wonderful to hear. Jacob Collier, thank you so much. Lizzy, McAlpine and Victoria Canal. Their new single, Never Gonna Be Alone, is out now.